Hey guys. Good afternoon, everybody. We're just going to wait until 1 o'clock and then we will go live with our tour from Oakfield. We're just enjoying some pet lamb cuddles. They've had their lunch feed. They're all just coming to say hello while we wait. Excuse me. These are all coming to say hello. This is Tiny. Tiny. So hi to anyone that's just recently joined us. We're just waiting until 1 o'clock before we kick off the tour here at Oakfield. This is our first ever live, so please bear with us. I can see some names popping through. I'll try and say hello to people. And if you've got any questions as we go along, just pop them up and we will try and answer them. If not, I will answer them at the end for you all. Little lammies, Emma says you're very cute. Oh, and we've got our first question. David, are you a mixed farm? So I will get started in a second once we kick off. We are a livestock farm and I will explain about what we do as we go along. We do try and adopt on any pet lambs as we can. We're also a tourist attraction, so some of these pet lambs are quite useful. People like to come and bottle feed, but we've got a couple of twin-ons up in the polytunnel that we will show you shortly. Right guys, do you mind nibbling my boots? You've had your milk. Yes, these are ever so cute. So hi everybody, we've got a few new people following, just a couple of minutes and then we will kick off and do our tour. So I'm just sitting post lamb feeds, watching them all while we wait on everyone just finishing and joining us. everybody, this is our first ever Facebook Live from Oakfield Farm. I've now been joined with Farmer Michael.
Hello everyone.
We are in the barn where, as you've just been watching, the pet lambs live. So this is our event space. We are open to the public at lambing time, and we do lambing tours, we do toddler groups, and we do pet lamb feeding sessions. So this is where all the pet lambs are. We've also got some little chickies down here that we've hatched out an incubator. And then these guys will stay with us, and anyone visiting the farm will be able to gather some eggs off them when they mature and start laying eggs. So we're going to head on out to one of our maternity wards and see if we've got anything lambing. Like anyone here in Scotland at the minute, it's rather wet and miserable. So we do have a lot more sheep house than we normally do. But Michael will explain sort of what we do as we go along. So I will flip you back round. You've seen enough of me. And we will head over to maternity ward number 1. So we'll just do a quick refresh. Hi to anyone that has just joined us from Oakfield Farm. We're based in Perthshire, so we're pretty much banging between Perth and Dundee, just off the A90. We're in central Scotland, and we are predominantly a sheep farm. We've got around 300 breeding sheep that we have on Oakfield as a base, and then we rent local grazing ground round about us. So we are now inside. We're about 50% through our lambing, and then outside, Michael was saying this morning, things have just been a little bit slower, which is maybe not a bad thing with the weather that we've had. So we're not quite halfway through our outdoor lambers. But everything that's in here was a lot busier, and it's now quieting down. We've got this, and then we also have our polytunnel that we will head on up to shortly. So Michael's just going to do a wee demo like we do on our farm tours for anyone.
Yes, good afternoon everyone. So in this shed here, we started about 17 here. These were all cross ewes that were in here, and either twins or triplets down here. So everything got scanned in January. We scanned for singles, twins and triplets, and then we divide them all up into different groups for their different feed rations. So triplets and twins get more feeding, singles get nothing or very little. So all the singles that are lambing outside, they've got any feed this year. And the lambs are coming out quite big, so just probably because there's been extra grass with the mild winter, even though it has been very wet. So what happens in here is, once they all lamb, they all go into a little individual pen. So they'll go in these little pens for 24 to 48 hours just to mother up with their mums and make sure they're all drinking. So everything in these pens here, we've been quite busy from about midnight. Everything in here is less than 24 hours. Apart from the first kind of pen, second pen in here.
Hello.
So that one that Tess has shown you now, they were only born just this morning. These ones in there are a bit older. And then just move all the way up, I think there's a set of triplets up there as well.
This is our wee triplets in here. So we will probably have to lift one of these triplets off of her before she goes out to the field, just because generally the sheep don't have enough milk to support 3, and they can't keep 3 safe in the wild. So we will try and time it, if we can, when we've got a single lambing, that we will lift one of them and we will try and twin it onto a single. But we just need to wait on that happening. Michael, you're here pretty much 24 hours a day at the minute, so the chances are fairly high that we can do that, and then it's also whether the mum accepts it. So these look fairly fresh. They've been clean, but they're still got a wee bit gunk on them. And then, hello, you're very cute. Oh, that was the one that I lambed this morning and paired up. Hi. Right, back to you, Michael.
So here we've got one. This one's probably just over 24 hours old. So what we do with them all before they go to the field is, we dock all the tails, and we castrate all the male lambs. We don't keep any tup lambs on the farm. We buy all our tups in for breeding tups. So the reason for docking the tails is just to try and prevent fly strike when they're out in the summer. They get dung stuck to them on the back end, flies lay eggs, and then you get maggots. So, really simple way, I think a few people said before, it's just a rubber band. You just go on these pliers to stretch them out. and then the rubber band just over the tail, and it just comes off. So it's basically just like, putting a band around your finger. All that happens, that just cuts the blood supply off, and that'll just drop off within about a fortnight. Its tail will come off.
Do you want to explain what that yellow-orange colour on its tummy is for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, the orange that's sprayed all over it, that's iodine. So when all the lambs are born, just as soon as they're born, as they're going into the pen, they all get sprayed with iodine, just to stop any infection going in their navel or their belly button. And then castration is exactly the same, just over, pop it on, and again, 24 hours or so, 2 weeks, they'll just drop off, and that'll be him done. So yeah, so that's what we do with them all. So it's tunnel it done as well, and then we will spray a number on everything. So that will get the same, its twin will get the same number, and its mum will get the same number, and then they'll head off out to the field. But with the weather tomorrow, we'll probably keep these ones in for another 24 hours if we can find space for them. Over in the other shed over there, we've made a bit of space to keep some in. And we might try and tighten these up to the polytunnel and just maybe use this shed now for using lambs.
Every farm's different, so we have different colours. So our singles, twins and triplets all start at number 1, and we just use different colours. So this one is obviously orange, so we know that she's a twin, and the yow and the lambs will all have the same numbers on them, so that if we ever find a lamb in a fence or just it's been sort of misplaced in a field somewhere, we can pair them back up and they can find their mum again. But some people, yeah, do letters, numbers. You will drive about the country, I'm sure, and see loads of different decorations on. Occasionally we'll put our kids' names on it or do something, but yeah, we have numbers in different colours for all our different lambs. So unfortunately, I think everyone's having a post-lunch nap, and we don't have any live lambing for you. We had one this morning. I tried to take a video and put it on our own Facebook, but I literally went to feed a horse and missed it. Everyone's fairly content. So all these guys in here are due a lamb at any point. They are all, so anything without a dot on it is a twin, one with 2 orange dots. So there's one just there. She's a triplet. So anything in here, we can tell what to expect. But we generally, Michael's down here pretty much all the time, 24 hours a day at the minute in our lambing sheds, checking up on everything. And we will try not assist any births if we can help it. We try and let them lamb as naturally as possible, but we will intervene where possible. And then we have anyone who's got a really keen eye. You will see a little black pet lamb who I'm going to take you over to. So this was one of last year's pet lambs, and then it was reared over summer, hand reared by we have toddler groups on the farm. So this little thing here, we have no idea how you've ended up in the lambing shed, but you're quite happy, she's quite happy, just chilling out with all the mums. And she's quite useful when we have our tours, because she comes over and she takes treats out of everybody's hands. Sorry, I don't have anything for you, sweetheart. But yes, you will obviously, that is definitely not in lamb and not really meant to be here, but she's just staying for a cuteness factor. So seeing as we've got nothing lambing in here, we're going to take you for a bit of a walk up to the polytunnel where we have more sheep lambing, and Michael will just go through a bit of a chat about what we've got up there. And on the way, I can tell you what else we've got going on the farm. For anyone who's been watching the Lambathon with Go Rural, they may have heard lots of different people talk about different farms. We're slightly different in the fact that everything you see here is new. Michael has built everything here with his own fair hands over the last 2 years. So that's our event shed there that goes out into a little paddock, which is for kids to have a play in, and we're going to put some raised beds. We've got some apple trees in there. But we bought this farm 2 years past December, and there was literally nothing here. So we've built a farm essentially. We have, yeah, you can see how wet our fields are. It's slightly depressing. That's a horse riding arena. So we do have a livery yard, and we've got horses on the farm as well, just as another sort of basket to keep our eggs in, so that we're not totally reliant on farming. But yeah, this is our little field. As you can see, it's very muddy. Mud Mountain is very muddy at the minute. And then we'll just walk over to the polytunnel and you can see what else we've got going on. You will see my sheep fleece everywhere. It's not been snowing. We've got some brown fleeces and some white fleeces. So as you may know, the wool prices are pretty low at the minute for farmers. So this year, well, last year when we had our sheep shorn, I decided not to sell all our wool as we normally do, and we decided to, well, I'll flip you around. No, I'll leave you because you're enjoying seeing that scenic rather than my face. We decided to actually utilise our fleeces on the farm rather than sell them, because it wasn't making any money and we might as well utilise them. So we planted around about 800 beech hedging plants over the summer, well, end of winter last year, and at the start of spring I had no time to be weeding, so we've utilised our fleeces and put it all over the edges of our roads on the hedging to keep them cosy, to stop weeds, and it's just a really good way of keeping your soil healthy, sort of organically. So we stay down there in a little lodge. We've got a pond down there with some ducks. You will hear our new cockerel that we just inherited a couple of days ago. So these fields here are looking a bit bare. We normally, well, not bare of grass, but bare of sheep. So we would normally be lambing out in these fields at this time of year. We do have some sheep that you can see over there with lambs that we've put them out just so we can keep an eye on them. They do have little jackets on. I'll try and get up closer in a wee while. But we would normally lamb out in all these fields here so that we can drive around and keep an eye on them. But this year we have had to house as much as we can because it's just so wet and muddy. But we've now, anything that we can't keep in, we've popped out in here, so they've got a bit of a windbreak from the polytunnel, and then we've got trees around the back so they can kind of go around the back. And they do have jackets on, so we've never actually used jackets before until this year. Michael always laughed at them, but this year they've been very necessary. At least when the wee lambs lie down, they're not lying down in wet conditions. So yeah, you can see all these guys out here, but we would normally lamb in all these fields round about the polytunnel. I will skip these over here as well. So yeah, down here as well, we have a bit of construction going on here, so excuse the mud. And then there's cockerel that we've just inherited. Our hens are very free range, so they are loving all the fresh straw and laying eggs everywhere up here. But this is maternity ward number 2, so I'll hand over to Michael and he knows a lot more about what's going on up here. I generally do general public and help a wee bit at nights and when I can with the kids.
Yeah, so up in the polytunnel here, we put this up for lambing in when we first came here, so we've used this every year. Excuse the cockerel again. So everything in here is either blackface ewes that are having twins that are all to the blueface Leicester. So we breed all our own replacements for all the mule ewes that you've seen down in the bottom shed. And any cross ewes that are up here that are having a single are also up here. We did scan quite a few singles this year. I'm not sure why we had more singles than normal in the cross sheep, but we did. So this one here, as you can see, we've tried twinning this one on. She seems quite keen on it. It's very obvious it's not her lamb, but she was letting it drink this morning. I just did that one this morning, and then Tessa comes over in this pen here. We have another twin on. So the far away one in the corner, that was a triplet, and this is our own lamb. So we try and get them as evenly matched as possible, but obviously the triplets are a lot smaller. And then we can just move down. So again, just a single in there, and another set of twins.
Hey mum.
So again, everything up here has pretty much been born the last 24-48 hours. I had a bit of a clear out this morning to free up some pens. Once they've lambed just now, we're currently putting them in this bigger pen here for another 24-48 hours. But I emptied that out this morning into that field with our jackets on. And then there's a lot of stuff goes away to grazing away from home. As Tessa said, we rent, most of our sheep are on rented ground all summer. And then we also take a lot of winter grazing round about just to take the sheep over the winter.
Have we got anything lambing?
Yeah, there's one here, that water bag out after I just
Ah, okay. So do you want to just explain to everyone what you're looking for when you're walking around looking for anything lambing?
Just looking for a sheep that's either sitting by itself, pawing the ground, making a nest. As you can see, that one down there is kind of going round and it's got its head down at the minute. I don't know if Tessa knows which one we're on. I'll just walk down here a wee bit. Turns round, you might be able to see it now.
Yeah, so I'll try and zoom in. I have no idea how you zoom in on this. So if anyone can see, she's just got a little water bag. That one's just moved in her way. Yeah, this one here, no idea where my finger is. There, behind there. So she's just kind of, she's not doing it at the minute, but she was circling and pawing at the ground and she's got a water bag hanging at the back. So we will just keep an eye on her. We're not going to intervene or do anything. And hopefully she would lamb naturally. She's a twin, yes?
No, she's just a single.
Oh,
An
she's a
older ewe
single,
that's a
okay.
single.
So yeah, we can go for a bit of a walk and then come back.
Yeah, we'll have her a bit of peace and quiet.
If I can zoom back out. Nothing else is lambing in here for us, but we can go for a little walk.
So we started with about 130 up here this year. They were quite tight to start with, but we didn't have all the wee pens built. And as they've been lambing, we've just built more pens at the top. So I had a rough count this morning. I think there's about 60 left in here. But the blackies we normally lamb them all outside. Just on the field down below and out the side here. But just this year with the weather, we decided just to put them in because the fields were that wet. And we've probably managed to save more lambs by actually having them in. But the only problem is you come into the tunnel, the shed, and they all bunch together just because they don't really like being inside. But they are getting better as time goes on. But yeah, we're down to about last 60 in here and about 30 down the bottom. So yeah, about 100 left inside max probably, and then there'll be 50 or 60 outside. So yeah, we're almost halfway.
So I don't actually think I've mentioned, we also do turkeys. So like I said, we're predominantly sheep farming, but we do rear turkeys for Christmas. So we do around about 100 turkeys who utilise this polytunnel when it's not full of lambs. So we have a clear out, and then they join us in summer. And then this opening down here, we open that up, and then we've got 6 foot high electric fencing that goes round, and we've got a nice big area of trees outside that they guys get. So they just get free range in and out the shed as and when they want. They do tend to come in here overnight, which is good because it can keep them safe from the foxes, and then they get outside. So they're reared on the farm for about 6 months. They're very traditionally slow reared compared to a lot of your supermarket turkeys. So that's something else that we've got going on in the farm. Right, I don't know if anyone's got questions. I've never done a Facebook Live, so I'm not actually sure how you're meant to know if someone's got a question, but I'm assuming if I can't see it, that means no, so that's good. So yeah, these are some of last year's hens that we hatched. I can see the chat, yeah. So if someone's just, yeah, I can see the chat, so that must mean that no one has asked a question. Or I can see it as it comes on. Hang on, here we go. Nope.
No, you don't have any questions, I'll just look at it.
Oh, that's good. So I don't think we're going to have enough time to sit and watch this sheep lamb because it's just in the very early stages of labour. It is amazing though, because we can have days where you see something just starting, and like this morning I went away to feed a horse, came back and there was a lamb out, so it's within minutes. And then you can have other days where you could be waiting around half an hour, 40 minutes, and then that's when we might sort of take a look just to make sure that everything is progressing as it should and that there's not a problem. So how many lambs have we had so far and how many have you lost, Michael? Do you want to answer that?
I don't know how many we've had so far. I need to go and count up through my book. I'm just marking them into different fields as they go out. Losses including early lambs, deformed lambs and everything else. So anything that's came out of sheep that's died or anything died outside. I think we've lost about 30 lambs this year, which isn't, I wouldn't say it's too bad. We've had 3 yesterday outside in the field just with the weather. That rain yesterday was relentless, and we lost 3 outside yesterday that were probably nearly a week old. Some of them probably were a week old. The fields aren't bad. We've got a lot of shelter, so a lot of pin bushes, gorse bushes, and dikes as well. So yeah, quite a lot of cover outside. So we try and put them in fields with plenty of shelter, which we're pretty lucky that way. But these ones just seem to have yeah, couldn't cope with the rain yesterday, so hence the reason for the wee jackets going on now. Because I think tomorrow's looking very, very wet again.
At least we've got a nice day to wander around the farm today. We're not in umbrellas. But yeah, shall we head back down and see if we've got anything going on in the bottom shed? If not, we can go and see the pet lambs before we say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, we can upload a wee picture of the lamb once it's born.
Oh, that's a good idea.
To see, because it's just pretty much just started.
Right, Mr. Cockerel. You are very friendly. Yeah, we rehomed him. Someone actually contacted us because they had hatched eggs and Mr. Cockerel wasn't behaving so well. So we did take him because the plan was we were going to eat him. But he arrived and he's really beautiful and he's actually quite nice. So we're just going to keep him as a pet roaming about. I maybe wasn't the biggest fan this morning with very little sleep at lambing time when he was cock-a-doodle-doing at, I think it was about 4:10 or something crazy. But we'll see how we get on with you, mister, won't we? So yeah, here's some little happy lambs. It's lovely when they get out and you can see them. So if I zoom in, I could walk over. But they've got their little jackets on. So they're all quite happy. You can see the little, they just look a bit more square than they normally would. So they're just basically little clear ponchos, like if you were going to a music festival, what you might pop on. They're meant to be biodegradable, but we will take them off in about 3 days. We'll gather everything up and take their jackets off. But they're handy. Well, that one's just blown off. Great, we'll need to go and pick that up. So that's not ideal. We'll need to go and pop one back on him. But they're handy, so when we're driving around and checking stock, we can still see the numbers through them. And we can, and the mums, again, they're not too thick, so they shouldn't be mismothered. The mums should hopefully still be able to smell them and realise that it is their lamb just with a little festival poncho on. But yeah, normally this field would be lovely, full of sheep. But yeah, there isn't a huge amount of natural shelter in this field, and as you can see, we've barely been driving in here, but this is just the gutters that everybody has, unfortunately, in Scotland just now. It's awful. So yeah, we will walk very quickly back down to the shed, and then yeah, we can see the pet lambs just before we leave. But anyone who comes to the farm, so at the minute we're doing tours, I'll flip you back round, hang on. At the minute we're doing tours Friday to Sundays for family group tours, where they come and essentially see what we've kind of just demoed there. You go a bit for a walk, see both maternity wards, and then they finish up with pet lamb feeding, pet lamb cuddles, holding the chicks. And a lot of the kids are just coming to the farm in wellies and waterproofs and sliding down Mud Mountain and having the best time of their lives. I'm just really glad that I'm not transporting them home. But they're enjoying it, so that's all that matters. And then during the week we've been doing pet lamb feeding for anyone who doesn't want the full tour, or some younger kids. So they've been coming out and helping us feed the pet lambs, which is very handy. Oh, thank you, David. We have good view from our farm. So we are kind of, yeah, we sit in a bit of a hollow, but we do have loads of beautiful hills around us. If anyone knows of Guardswell, I can probably show you. So Guardswell sits up. That is Guardswell Steading. It's going to focus on my finger. Just kind of in the central there, in the middle there, that's Guardswell. So we can see them. They can probably see us if they sit in their boat with their binoculars. But yeah, we've got beautiful hills all around us and we kind of sit in the bottom of it. And then, yeah, our land goes all the way down to the main road here. We've got 35 acres here. So this, like I say, this is my hedging that's a work in progress. This just provides a base for our farming enterprise, and it enables us to bring everything back home for lambing time. And now we've obviously built several sheds that gives us quite a lot of options for the agritourism element of the business that is fairly new. We only started, we done lambing tours last year for the first ever time, and then we've increased what we're doing this year. So we've got a couple more things, and we're doing like date night in the lambing shed. We're doing toddler group more year round in the new barn that we've got. What else are we doing? Felt to fleece rug making classes, so you can come and we'll shear a sheep. And then you come into the barn and you will make, this is a wee mini version, but you get to make little, I don't know how to flip yours around again, little rugs with a lady who, when we were selling, she came and bought them, and then now we're kind of going to do it with her. So anyway, before we leave yous all, I will give yous a nice wee view. So this is the barn. So yeah, the plan is in summer we're going to pop some veggie patches and things out here for people to grow veg on the farm and come and see us. We've got some apple trees. That was my lovely husband, bought them from the children for Mother's Day. We've got outdoor hand washing, and we bring some toys and things out here. But yeah, this is pet lambs in here. So these are the biggest hit with the general public, and they're very cute. So these guys, we've not actually brought anything in here for over a week now, have we? We've managed to pair everything on. But these guys, because they've now been a pet for so long, they're too kind of humanised. I'm not even sure that's a word, but yeah, they have spent too like much time with us. They probably wouldn't go on and sook on a sheep. So these will remain as our pets, and then yeah, they will be hand reared by anyone visiting the farm. And we have 2 little people as well on the farm, so they love them. I'm sure they'll be in our garden over summer eating my plants and God knows all what. But yeah, these guys are real fun. So before we leave, where's Michael gone?
Here.
Just thank you all for tuning in today. It was lovely to see you all and sharing Oakfield with you guys. So yeah, goodbye from us. Thanks.
Bye, thank you.